This suppressor is from StingerWorx, which is a company out of Boise, Idaho, just south of where I am right now. It is a titanium can. It's super lightweight and it's big, a lot of volume. So we'll see how it does. 30 cal. I've got it on my 300 Blackout. We're going to start with supers and then go to subs. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. I'm getting spoiled. Really, suppressors kind of spoil you. The more that I shoot suppressed, the less I like shooting unsuppressed. And I love shooting no matter what, but man, God, does it make such a difference. So this video today is about this suppressor. This is from StingerWorx, a company out of Boise, Idaho. So they're basically local to me. And this is owned by my good friend Nick. Thank you again, Nick, for loaning me the suppressor to do the video. Nick is right off camera there. ATF, he is here. Because that's the way it works. You have to, suppressor has to stay with the tax stamp holder. So I want to give a shout out to Nick, but I also want to give a shout out to one of the viewers, Jake. I just got off the phone with him. Jake got his Ventum 762 suppressor approved in 4 business days, 7 days total. Just had a nice phone call with him. Great guy. Hi, Jake. But anyway, let's talk about this suppressor. Make sure you're subscribed, and we're going to get started. This thing is lightweight, and it's super duper quiet. So I think there might be one more supersonic in here, and then we're getting into subs. I'm going to shoot some into the dirt, just so we don't have the ring of the steel. See how that sounds. Oh, that's awesome. So as you guys might know, this is my 300 Blackout home defense build. And normally I run it with this, the Whip Machine and Tool Dirty 30 suppressor. And I specifically chose this suppressor because it is compact, it's short, it's flat dark earth. And I just wanted to keep this whole package as, compact as I possibly could for maneuvering it around the home. CQB if I needed to use it in a home defense situation. And while this suppressor is perfect for that purpose, it is not the quietest can in the world, even with subsonic ammo, although technically it is hearing safe with subs. But I had a chance to use this today on the same gun, and oh my gosh, this thing gets quiet. So again, I don't own this suppressor. My buddy Nick does, good friend. He's also the same one that loaned me this HUXWorks 556K, which we do have another video about that coming out later this week. Now this does not keep this package nice and compact. But what it does do is it makes it very quiet. So as you can see here, physics is a thing. And this suppressor is literally twice the volume of the Whip Machine and Tool suppressor. So you can only get so quiet with a can this small. Once you put something like this on here, you get really quiet. And the cool thing about the StingerWorx can here is it is titanium and it is lightweight. This can might be twice the size of this can, but it's like half the weight. This thing's stainless steel, this thing's titanium, and the gun feels really light, even with this big, long can on it. Now, obviously, you can still maneuver around pretty easily with this thing, but if you look at it, it makes it as long as my 14.5 inch. This is an 8.2 inch 300 Blackout. 8.2 inch for a reason. I wanted this to be a short gun. So this suppressor might not be ideal for what I designed this gun for, but if you want a super quiet shooting 300 Blackout or any 30 caliber, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I want to take a quick minute to talk about this video's sponsor, which is Aura. And the reason why is because it's a product that I actually do believe in. Now that I've been using it for a little while, it's actually improved my life. I get a lot less spam calls than I used to get, which is kind of huge. I use my phone for work, and so I have to answer numbers that I don't recognize, and it's nice to not be getting those spam calls all the time anymore. The other thing is I had my bank account hacked 3 times last year, and I had to get new debit cards at least twice. And then I had to, get all of my bills that were automatically paid fixed and switched over to the new cards. Huge hassle. And Aura takes care of all that stuff so that you don't end up having to deal with those kinds of problems anymore. They scour the internet and they find wherever your information is being sold to scammers and spammers and anybody else that wants to use your information to sell your information, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, which helps get rid of all that stuff so you don't have to deal with that anymore. And ever since I've been using it, I actually have noticed a big difference. And in fact, I get alerts from Aura when they find where my information has been leaked, and then they fix that for me, and that's been huge. And they do a lot of other things too. They have VPN, password management, parental controls, all kinds of stuff, and you get it at a very low price, a lot less than you would pay if you bought all of those things individually. And it helps the channel. With YouTube demonetizing pretty much all of my videos now, if you sign up for Aura, it helps me grow the channel, and that is greatly appreciated. So please check out Aura. Get 2 weeks for free if you use my link, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. I'd really appreciate it. I respect my privacy, and I respect yours. So what is this? Like I said, it's a titanium suppressor. Now, it does have a QD system, and kind of like the HutchWorx can, it is reverse thread. So you're not gonna, if you get carbon lock, you're not gonna pull your muzzle device off of your barrel trying to get it off, because they thread in opposite directions, which is cool. The muzzle device that it comes with here is supposed to be self-timing. Nick there told me about that. I did not self-time it, obviously. It is not timed correctly, and I'm not sure how you do that, but apparently it is. He says it's a little bit of pain in the ass to do it, but I kind of didn't care because I don't own this, and it's not going to stay on this gun. And I knew that I've shot with muzzle brakes. I know what muzzle brakes do. And so I wasn't going to shoot it without the can on it. And so I didn't really care which direction the ports were facing. So I just cranked it on and ran it with the suppressor. But if you do get one of the StingerWorx suppressors, they do have this muzzle device. It is self-timing, and it actually comes with a thread protector that goes over the threads if you're running it without your suppressor, because as we all know, sometimes it can take a long time to get your suppressor, and you might already have the muzzle device, and you don't want to, ding up those threads. All subs from here on out. I don't think I need these. Let's see how it sounds without Ear Pro. This is that thread protector I was talking about, just in case anybody is curious about that. So if you were just going to run the muzzle brake by itself, your threads are perfectly safe, just like a thread protector, that you'd use on a threaded pistol barrel or anything else that, you're not running a suppressor full time. Although, honestly, if this was mine, I would be running this. Although, you know what I kind of think? I think maybe a build like this, it'd be great to maybe keep something like this on it for home defense and have something like this for just ultimate sound suppression at the range. So how did this thing perform? Well, first I ran 20 rounds of supersonic ammo through it just to see how well, it suppressed supers. Now the thing with supersonic ammo is you can only really suppress the actual sound of the hot gases expanding and cooling, the boom you get from a gunshot. No suppressor is going to suppress that sound. So that you're going to get no matter what. And with supersonic ammo, you're also going to get that supersonic crack as the round passes the sound barrier. But this did make it more enjoyable to shoot supers. But man, once I got into the subsonic rounds, that's where it really made a difference. I took my hearing protection off, which I don't do with this suppressor, even with subs. I have, and it's hearing safe, but it's not super comfortable with a can this small. With this thing, it was laughably quiet, even without hearing protection. And that really made it just fun to shoot. This big StingerWorx can is so quiet. It's very satisfying to shoot without hearing protection. These StingerWorx suppressors have some really cool features. There are no welds, and they're modular, so they can come apart. So if you do have a baffle strike, you can just replace the part that got damaged, which is really nice. A lot of suppressors, you cannot do that. If you get a baffle strike or you get some kind of damage to your can, you have to send that whole suppressor off to the manufacturer to get it repaired. And that means transferring it as an NFA item and then waiting and transferring it again. And these are $200 tax stamps to transfer things. It can be a real big hassle to get a suppressor fixed. But if you have something like this that's modular, you don't have to worry about that. The most likely baffle strike is usually going to be an end cap or at least a baffle towards the end. It's very rare to get a baffle strike, right where the muzzle brake is. And that is the part that is the serialized part of this. So it's super easy to get fixed if you need to. Now, hopefully you don't have something like that happen, but that is nice for peace of mind. I think there's a lot of benefits to a suppressor like this. Now, is it going to be as robust as something like this, as a Surefire can, something that's steel Inconel that's made for, machine gun use? Probably not. Just being as light as it is, I don't feel like there's any possible way that it could be just as robust as something like that. But for someone like me, a civilian that just enjoys shooting, it worked great today. And I shot slow, I shot fast, I put a bunch of rounds through it, supersonic and subsonic, and it worked out great. Nick, who owns this can, uses it on a variety of calibers because you can do that with 30 cal cans, and he's never had any issues with it. And I gotta tell you, there's something to be said for not having a ton of weight hanging off the end of your gun. Even though this is long, it's really light, so it doesn't make your firearm feel super unwieldy, which is really nice. Even though it makes it as long as my 14.5 inch, it doesn't feel like I'm holding up the weight of a 14.5 inch. In fact, this 300 Blackout really doesn't feel any heavier than it normally is, even with the suppressor on it. Some rounds suppress better than others. And 300 Blackout is kind of famous for being a round that suppresses very effectively, specifically because there are subsonic loadings. Now, 45 ACP, naturally subsonic. You can get, 147 grain subsonic 9mm rounds. There are other, you can get subsonic 7.62 by 39. You probably won't run your AK and cycle it reliably unless you have a suppressor on it that really puts a lot of added back pressure into the system, but they do exist. But 300 Blackout is designed to be able to run supersonic and subsonic ammo out of the same platform without having to change your buffer, without needing an adjustable gas block, which this gun does. I'm kind of proud of that fact because it did take some tuning to get there. But when you have a can like this that has a lot of volume, it really makes 300 Blackout fun. It is really fun to be able to go out and shoot a rifle round like that, not wear ear protection. I mean, the sound of the steel hitting, and a lot of my shots were just into the dirt because I was just enjoying how quiet it was. But when you do shoot at steel, the steel sounds really loud when you're not wearing ear protection, and when you don't have a loud blast of a gunshot kind of overpowering it. It's kind of amazing. I really, really recommend anybody that is into shooting, shoot suppressed subsonic 300 Blackout with a big suppressor like this. It will put a smile on your face. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like, share it with anyone that you know that is in the market for a 30 caliber suppressor. And if you want to support the channel, for one, join Aura. That is the #1 supporter of the channel, and it helps me if you do. And I actually believe in the service that they offer. For number 2, I usually put some links down below in the description for products that are featured in the video. Those are affiliate links, and those help the channel as well. So that is also appreciated. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.